It's so famous. You want to do it in his voice, right? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. It's a bad Alex Jones impression. It's not gravelly enough. It's a gravelly voice. He sounds like a demon. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Brain Blaze. This one, Alex Jones. Exclusively about Alex Jones. Rage against the official narrative. I love it. Alex Jones just keeps getting fined. I think, last month it was bumped up to like 1.4 billion or whatever. I mean, he's never going to be able to pay it because he doesn't have 1.4 billion. But I think he declared like bankruptcy, like for his company, for himself, all this kind of stuff. I'm broke! The only positive thing that I thought about Alex Jones is when he had Kanye on his show, Alex Jones seemed like the reasonable one. And I was like, wow, is Alex Jones that bad? And it's like, yeah, well, when you compare him to Kanye, you're kind of like, yeah. He's all right.
You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well,
you know something really weird is going on. When you're watching a debate on television, you find yourself concluding that the one behaving most reasonably is Piers Bloody Morgan. I think this must have been my first introduction to Alex Jones in 2013. Alex had been invited onto Piers Morgan's CNN show for a lively chat after launching a petition to deport Piers back to the UK for daring to express his support for a US ban on semi-automatic weapons and high-capacity magazines. How dare you, Piers!
The Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns.
I'm not against guns. Like, I don't think that all guns should be banned. But I'm kind of with... Never thought I'd say it. Kind of with Piers Morgan on this one. Do we need high-capacity magazines? Sorry, not we. Do you Americans need high-capacity magazines? Do you need semi-automatic assault weapons? What's the difference between a semi-automatic assault weapon and a regular semi-automatic? Because I'm not like semi-automatic is just a gun that you don't have to cock every time, right? So don't have a problem with that. Assault weapons, though, is I feel like that's one of those things that isn't properly defined. I don't know much about guns, so everyone's going to be in the comments being like, yeehaw! But I think assault weapon is something that doesn't have a proper definition, which makes it complicated. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's just carry on. Piers didn't actually get to say very much, and the few talking points he tried pushing to Alex could arguably have been torn apart by someone who could have kept a lid on their temper. Within the space of just a few minutes, Alex had angrily predicted a repeat of the 1776 uprising if anyone tried to take away the firearms of Americans. He barked out his technically inaccurate opinion that all the citizens of England are attempting to flee a police state and challenged Piers to a televised boxing match. Alex Jones, what are you up to? No one's trying to flee. I'm sure there are some people who are trying to flee England. It's not very many. And it's not because it's a police state. Jesus. But for the most part, Piers was uncharacteristically silent as he sat back and allowed Alex to rapidly drift into frothing madman mode, and this perhaps did more to support the argument for tighter gun control than anything Piers could have vocalized. Yes, sometimes you just need to sit there and be like, this is my show, and you are more than welcome to hang yourself on it.
you finished?
Yes, I am finished. You will not take my right. You go through background checks to get guns.
That very same year, the usually highly disciplined Scottish broadcaster Andrew Neil showed a little less restraint when Alex turned up for a debate on the BBC's Sunday Politics show, and again quickly boiled over into explosive rage as he began screaming that the government was trying to poison the water supply. It's one of those things where I'm like, CNN, why are you giving Alex Jones a platform? Bloody BBC, what are you doing? Why would you invite Alex Jones onto your show? It's like inviting a conspiracy theorist on to talk about like COVID vaccines or 5G. It's like, just stop it. You don't give these people a platform. It's like, but everyone deserves their right to say what they want to say. It's like, sure, they can say what they want to say. Doesn't mean we have to listen. Doesn't mean that the BBC has to be like, yeah, we'll let them talk. It's just stupid. Although I guess the thing is they're just going to hang themselves. Although there are some people who are still like, no, I believe it. And it's like, dude, he's saying the government's poisoning the water supply, which... like, I don't know, the government has done some shady in the past, so that's probably not the best example, but let's use chips in vaccines. I mean, that's just insane, technologically and also conspiratorially. On that occasion, Andrew Neil collapsed into giggles and told Alex he was the worst person he'd ever interviewed. He wiggled his fingers around his head and stuck out his tongue to indicate that Alex was mentally challenged. So he's like this. Holy... I haven't done this since I was at school. And he wrapped up the show over a still screaming Alex by declaring to the TV audience,
we have an idiot on the program today.
You will not stop freedom. You will not stop the republic. Humanity is awakening.
It seems to me that Alex Jones is a slightly challenging person to interview, largely because he refuses to acknowledge anything that anybody ever says to him, and instead attempts to shout everything else down during ever-escalating rants that swiftly bubble into a comical crescendo of rage and paranoia. But maybe we should cut him a bit of slack. The poor lamb is having a run of jolly rotten luck at the moment. He's just been ordered to pay $1.5 billion in damages to the families of the victims of the mass shooting at Sandy Hook. This was a long time ago. I'm recording this in January. This is probably written a month ago because I'm so far behind on recording these. You probably won't see this like February or something. Sorry. Okay, I'll push it to the front of the queue, so you'll hopefully see it sooner rather than later. If you are, then I did that successfully, which is nice for me. And you. In 2012, after repeatedly claiming that the whole devastating incident was just staged by actors as an excuse for the Obama administration to tighten firearm restrictions. But he's bound to get a few things wrong from time to time. Just a few. That's the problem with being a lone, brave revolutionary fighting an ongoing battle against Big Brother and the devil-worshipping pedophiles that make up the New World Order. You can't be expected to get everything right. But what exactly makes the American libertarian, gravelly voice broadcaster tick? Money. I'd say money's going to be a large part of it because he's getting rich off selling like all those weird supplements and shit, isn't he? How can he be so rich and so poor at the same time? Why is he being censored at every turn by the evil forces that control the mainstream media? And just in case it's not absolutely clear, that is sarcasm. And is he a genius, manipulative businessman or just a loud, ignorant, obnoxious, deluded and self-assessed arsemonger? It could be both. Those things are not mutually exclusive, are they? By the way, apologies in advance if we miss out your favorite Alex Jones moment here. This is not meant to be his complete life story. It would take about 7 epic blazers to cover every nutty detail of his life, and I know that Simon doesn't want to talk about Alex Jones for any longer than absolutely necessary. So I kind of enjoy Alex Jones and the $1.5 billion that he's been fined. Long before he was peddling unfounded conspiracy theories on his YouTube channel and later on his own website, such as InfoWars and Prison Planet. Never even heard of that one. A young Alex Jones dropped out of Austin Community College in the 90s and started out broadcasting on late-night public access cable TV before moving into local radio. It seems like, okay, so he went from like public access to local radio to like YouTube. And YouTube must have banned him, right? Did that happen? I don't know. Alex Jones couldn't spout this shit on YouTube. They'd be like, no. Because they take down like tons of videos about like COVID, misinfo and all of this stuff and conspiracies because, you know, it's nonsense. He wouldn't be allowed. He must have got banned. He's not on Twitter or anything like that, is he? I think even Elon Musk, who's like this free speech absolutist, except not really, he was even like, no, Alex Jones can't come back. He can't come back. Good for you, Elon. A joint winner of Best Austin Talk Radio Host by 1999, Alex's distinct brand of dude radio, appealing almost exclusively to young white men, attracted an audience which appeared to be divided into 2 broad camps. I think this is one thing that is, my audience is like 90% dudes. Obviously, they don't provide you an ethnic breakdown because that would be weird. But it's kind of weird. They provide a gender breakdown in a way, isn't it? I don't know. Look, 90% of, I don't know what it is for Brainblaze, but like fact-based content, like bar graphics, geographics, all of these like classic shows, it's like 90% dudes. Obviously, The Casual Criminalist is not, and Decoding the Unknown is much less. But these like classic fact shows, just dudes. It's really a lot of dudes. Are you a dude? Let me know in the comments below. I know this channel's more balanced, but dudes love facts.
And that's a fact.
It attracted an audience which appeared to be divided into 2 broad camps. The angry tinfoil hat brigade, who genuinely believed in all the stuff that Alex was spouting about lizard people and false flags and the shadowy New World Order, and the stoners who just found Alex's blazes of blind fury to be comically entertaining. Yeah, no, he is entertaining. Like, there's no question. Alex Jones is an entertaining dude. It's just unfortunately entertains with all of this insane stuff. But even during those very early years, it seems that Alex Jones was a tricky man to work with, long before getting fired from Austin KJFK FM radio station in 1999. Good lord, that is a mouthful. For refusing to broaden his topics, he got involved in a pretty embarrassing brawl in the car park of his former employees at ACAC Radio. Alex had invited his loyal listeners to come along to an open house event at the radio station, for which it put on a nice little spread. The turnout wasn't great, and Alex became infuriated when he recognized the voice of one of the very few attendees. It was the same guy who had spent the last few weeks ruining Alex's broadcast by continually making piss-taking prank calls to the live show. They don't have a screener? You gotta have someone screening the calls. You're a live show. You're like, hello? Ah!
Are you still there?
Surely. Surely, and this was the past. They can't just get a new phone number. I suppose they go to a payphone. But is anyone going to make that effort?
Joe Mama!
The two now had an opportunity to exchange insults in person, but the other guy apparently went too far when he referred to Alex as Jarhead Jones, a name he often used when taunting the host live on air. This tipped Alex over the edge. He challenged the guy to a fight in the car park, during which Alex would apparently whoop his bitch ass. It didn't quite turn out like that. The other guy, known locally as Space Hitler, gave Alex a proper pummeling. Oh my God, you got to be so confident. Alex Jones is a big dude. You got to be pretty confident to be let's have a fight. And then it's embarrassing if the other guy's going to whip your ass. You know how many fights I've challenged people to? None, because I don't want to get my ass whipped. When the radio station programmer Charlie Sotelo tried to get Alex inside to safety, Alex accused him of defending Space Hitler and spat blood in Charlie's face. Dude, not okay. Alex then got another punch in the head, this time from his own colleague. That's the version of events supported by all the other eyewitnesses to the scene. Alex, of course, told a slightly different version to the police. He reckoned that he was assaulted by a group of 4 knife-wielding thugs who attacked him because of his beliefs. Alex, there were many eyewitnesses. You can't just say, you can say whatever you want, but no, that's not what everyone else said happened. They're all part of the New World Order, are they, Alex?
Alexa, do you work for the CIA?
I'm not employed by them. I'm made by Amazon.
Alexa, you are lying to me.
It seems that Alex always had a knack for pulling out an unlikely alternative to the official narrative, and he would go on to carve a lucrative career from this over the decades to follow. To be fair to Alex Jones, he gets things right every now and again. Take Picklegate, for example. During a skit on 2016 episode of Jimmy Kimmel's show on ABC, the host invited then Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton to open a jar of pickles on TV in a light-hearted attempt to debunk Trump's claim that she was too weak and frail as a woman to serve as president. You don't need to be strong and not frail to serve as president. Joe Biden is president. How is this relevant? I'm sure it's going to be, I don't remember this at all. I'm sure she can't open the pickles, and that's absolutely nothing to do with her level of political competence in any way whatsoever. When Hillary opened the jar with ease, Alex went into another meltdown and started ranting in detail on his radio show how the whole thing had clearly been fixed. Jimmy Kimmel. It's also a comedy show. Even if they had fixed it, it doesn't matter. It's a joke. Jimmy Kimmel quickly revealed that the lid of the jar had indeed been loosened beforehand, but the segment was intended to be a bit of light entertainment rather than a credible bid to seize control of the White House under false pretenses. Obviously, use your small brain. In the following episode of his show, Jimmy Kimmel noted, if you're ever feeling bad about your job, just remember there's a grown man who spent a full 7 minutes yelling about me in a pickle jar on television. Some of Alex's other claims are a bit more dubious, though. Shortly after the 9/11 terrorist attacks, he suggested on his radio show that there was a 98% chance that the attack was orchestrated by the Bush administration as a pretext to introduce martial law. At least he was decent enough to admit there was a 2% chance he might be wrong. Was martial law ever instituted, Alex Jones? No. In a 2017 edition of InfoWars video broadcast, he revealed that Michelle Obama was transgender, originally born Michael, as evidenced by a slight bulge in her pants, which were actually just pleats. The problem is, okay. So, 9/11. The idea that the government might consider a false flag attack in order to initiate a war or something like that absolutely were totally considerable, fairly reasonable. The idea that Michelle Obama was born a man is you can't just take every conspiracy theory and mash it together and then be like, well, you can take that one seriously, but not this one. It just discredits the whole thing. Not that I think 9/11 was the conspiracy theory or anything, but, the governments have done false flags things before. Many times. Comedian Joan Rivers apparently became aware of this, but was murdered before she could spill the beans. Alex has long held the perfectly plausible belief that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is just a front for satanic mass eugenics program by the New World Order, which aims to control the world by sterilizing most of the population. He also seems to believe that the trust funded Adolf Hitler. Wait, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation? Alex, your history is off by decades. Nearly a century. But we need to check his dates on this one. Yes. And I'll tell you someone else who's been a member of that demonic high-tech tyranny that makes up the New World Order. Lady Gaga. Alex noted that Lady Gaga's widely acclaimed performance during the halftime show of the 2017 Super Bowl was a satanic ritual, which was enacted to condition the audience into accepting Lady Gaga as the goddess of Satan who will rule over the world alongside the oncoming rise of the robots. Alex, why must you mash all of the conspiracies together? Why do we have to mash the uprising of the robots together with Lady Gaga? It just makes no sense. Oh my God, why is everyone phoning to me? What's going on?
Hi, the Powerpuff Girls. Hi.
You may snort in derision, Simon, but Alex has proof to back up this theory. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. She wears meat suits and does all these rituals, he explains. Over the years, Alex has also revealed that US abortion clinics are harvesting the organs of live babies for profit. We're not going to have Pepsi with baby flavoring in it, he rants. And some others, both Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, smell of sulfur because they're demons. Pokemon Go is a tool created by the Illuminati, which is designed to destroy your humanity. The introduction of an autistic puppet character in Sesame Street was designed to normalize autism, a disorder caused by dangerous vaccines. Most natural disasters since 1990s, including Hurricane Sandy in 2012, which claimed 233 lives across 8 countries, the result of secret government projects to manipulate the weather and kill lots of people for readily no discernible reason. And then, of course, there's the gay frogs. During a 2017 broadcast, Jarhead Jones was kind enough to inform us that the US government had been secretly putting chemicals in the water, which had inadvertently turned the friggin' frogs gay. It's so famous, you want to do it in his voice, right? It turned the friggin' frogs gay. It's a bad Alex Jones impression. It's not gravelly enough, it's a gravelly voice. He sounds like a demon.
Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Cheers, crap gay.
And let's not even mention the Clockwork Elves from another dimension. Surely that's sarcasm. Although Alex has let slip his feeling on this matter a couple of times, he admits that we're not quite ready yet to hear about the Clockwork Elves. Oh my lord. Of course, 1 or 2 of these claims can be dismissed as the harmless rantings of an imbecile, but there's a darker, hateful, and harmful element to some of Alex Jones's potty conspiracy theories. Although Michelle Obama is most definitely not transgender, what business would it be of Alex Jones as if she was? Why is he bringing it up as a conspiracy? And there's something sinister lurking beneath the lily pads of those friggin' gay frogs too. The gay frogs hopped out of Alex's belief that there can't be a natural reason why there are so many gay people around today. Instead, he insists that the Pentagon must have embarked upon a secret chemical warfare operation to sterilize the population by turning everybody gay. There's a pretty major flaw in this. There's always been lots of gay people. Just nowadays, people are okay with being like, yeah, no, I'm gay. And still other parts of the world, like I bet if you went to Iran or whatever, you do a survey, how many people come back gay? Probably like 3. And it's not because there are 3 gay people in Iran, it's because it's not okay to be gay. It is Iran that's that way, right? I feel like it's Iran. Sorry, Iran, if it's not you. But if it is you, f*** you. They do this by inserting gay chemicals into the tap water and the plastic lining of juice boxes. What the fuck, man? In Alex's head, this appears to be the only feasible explanation. Well, he doesn't like drag performers either. To the surprise of nobody. He feels that they're introducing children to satanic rituals. During a video that finally got him booted off YouTube for good in 2018, Alex declared his desire to burn all drag performers alive. Hell, mate. Can it get any worse than that? Well, yes, of course it can. Although Alex didn't invent the infamous Pizzagate conspiracy, he had a huge hand in spreading that lie that an occult pedophile ring was operating from the basement of the Comet Ping Pong restaurant in Washington, D.C. After he urged his viewers to go and investigate it for yourself, one InfoWars viewer did just that, armed with an AR-15 assault rifle to help with his inquiries. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, and this resulted in a rare apology and retraction from Alex, albeit an apology and retraction prompted by a libel suit from the owner of the restaurant.
Oh shit, I'm sorry. Sorry for what?
However, I don't think Alex ever stooped as low as he did when he alleged in 2012 that the massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary School, which left 26 dead, including 20 children, was faked by crisis actors. Along with having to deal with the brutal loss of their young children, some parents were now also receiving death threats from Alex Jones followers who were convinced that the parents had made it all up. One parent testified in court that a conspiracy theorist had urinated on the grave of his 7-year-old son and then threatened to dig up the coffin. I mean, this. Alex Jones more than the guy who actually did this, because the guy who did this is just a small brain who got sucked in by a conspiracy theory that someone with a big brain, Alex Jones is a pretty smart dude, made him believe. And that. Alex now admits that his theory was a mistake, but when he was sued for defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress, the 2022 trials didn't exactly go Alex's way. His defense was hardly helped along by the fact that his comedy lawyers accidentally sent the prosecution incriminating evidence from Alex's phone, which proved that he had lied under oath. Uh-oh. Following the first, that takes like a civil suit into perjury, right? Which is a crime. Following the first trial in Texas, he was ordered to pay $4.1 million in compensatory damages damages and $45.2 million in punitive damages. Following the second trial in Connecticut, he was ordered to pay another $473 million in punitive and $965 million in compensatory damages, bringing the grand total to just a smidge under $1.5 billion. He still faces a third trial in Texas. Well, I expect to be ordered to pay around $3 trillion or something. Alex streamed his live reaction to the verdict of the second trial, but he didn't seem too concerned. In his own words, do these people actually think they're getting any money? Of course, the families aren't likely to receive anywhere near the figure of $1.5 billion, partially because it's such a hefty sum that is likely to be reduced on appeal, and partly because Alex hasn't got that much money. In fact, Alex has already filed for bankruptcy and has stated that anything over $2 million would sink his whole empire. Good. They said 2.1 or 1.5 bill.
Oh, what a loser! Good.
Yet his own leaked text messages painted a different financial picture. Although he was banned from pretty much every social media platform in 2018, including ones that I've never even heard of, his business model continued to flourish after the bans, and Alex privately claimed that he was still pulling in $4 million a week. Although he could have been lying again. The Sandy Hook families have already accused Alex of diverting his assets to shell companies in a bid to hide his wealth, a move which would be a terrible idea after he'd just submitted himself to the scrutiny of bankruptcy. As Boris Becker he just got released from prison the other day after 9 months because he was hiding money when he declared himself bankrupt. It's not a good idea. You're taking something that is civil and turning it into crime. Don't do that. But what a business model, though. On the surface, platforms such as InfoWars may appear to be an opportunity for Alex to spout conspiracy theories to 10 million visitors a month, but it's alleged that they're little more than dressed-up commercials for Alex's snake oil products, which are designed to be the solutions to the very same fake problems that he creates. There was a sponsor who wanted to work with us, which, on the scale of legitimacy, I'd probably give them a 7 out of 10. But they had this thing, and I'm not going to say who they are or be more specific, but basically they basically said, okay, you have this problem and we also have the solution. And I'm super sketchy of businesses like that. And I realized the whole medical industry is kind of similar to that, but there's a barrier to entry called medical school. But this was just a company that was hey, yeah, do this. Maybe we'll see if there's something wrong with you. And if there is, you can use our product. And I'm that is just asking for trouble, in my opinion. So they don't sponsor me.
No thanks, I choose life.
As Alex tells his viewers that they're facing Armageddon in a world of enforced sterilization and magic gay water, he simultaneously tries to flog you survival kits, brain pills, bulletproof vests, fluoride-free toothpaste, and male vitality drops to keep the gay away. One of his biggest money spinners is a range of dubious dietary supplements, which have not been certified for use by the FDA and were dismissed by Labrador, a San Francisco laboratory, as overpriced and largely ineffective. Just one quick example from this long list, Alex sells a zinc supplement called Anthroplex, which is priced at $29.95 and contains very little zinc. You can pick up a far more effective zinc supplement off the shelf for just a few dollars. But all of this gives credence to the theory that Alex Jones is far from a delusionary fool. Yeah, I've already said Alex Jones has a big brain. I don't think Alex Jones believes half the he says. Alex Jones is a businessman. He's a very sharp businessman who's making a fat profit from peddling fake news and selling worthless solutions. According to labs, not according to me, according to those labs that analyze them, those are what we're talking about there. Other people's research and definitely only my opinion. Not a statement of fact. During a legal battle, Alex Jones needs all the money you can get. During a legal battle in 2017 over the custody of his kids, his own lawyers argued that he was a performance artist and that his work was satire. The very next day, Alex insisted to his listeners that he was 100% real. Well, that's the game, isn't it? Because he can fool the listeners. That he could say, no, I'm just fooling my listeners. And then the listeners will still believe him. Because he'll go and tell them that even if he is a performance artist, they'll still believe him. Even if it's kind of genius.
You are the listener. I have served Mother well, I have.
Some people have claimed that Alex is noticeably calmer when he's not glaring into a camera, whereas former colleagues have suggested that he's just as manic off screen. Of course, people are different when they're talking to a camera. I'm different when I'm not talking to the camera. This is me plus 50%. If you talk to me in real life, it'd be a bit more boring. Because we'd be having a real person conversation, not me performing. Because this is performance. This isn't how I actually am. It's me, just amplified. It's me plus cocaine. His ex-wife may be a little biased after her own legal battle with Alex, but she claims that he's even more unhinged in real life and that he's a terrifyingly delusional man from whom society should be protected. The jury's still out on what exactly makes Alex Jones tick, but I suspect the answer includes dollar signs. He must surely be acutely aware of how exactly he's raking in so much money from selling allegedly ineffective products to gullible fools. One intriguing potential outcome of these recent legal battles is that Alex may have to sign over his future earnings from platforms such as InfoWars to the Sandy Hook families. That is a bit of a problem though, because then he's just not going to bother. It'd be like, okay, if we're going to take all of your future earnings, then you're going to be like, what future earnings? It's going to have to be a percentage, isn't it? Which still means Alex is going to line his pockets. And they'll have the power to take InfoWars in a more credible direction by closing down the whole stinking enterprise. A recent InfoWars broadcast saw Alex having a cozy chat with Kanye West, who was expressing his deep love for Hitler and the Nazis. Alex initially burst out laughing, but quickly mumbled that he disagreed with Kanye's opinions. You know, something really weird is going on when you're watching a debate between two people on television and you find yourself concluding that the one behaving the most reasonably is Alex Bloody Jones. And thank you for watching.
The Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns.